Hello, and very warm welcome to you all for today's video, where we're going to be taking a closer look at my absolute favorite AI coders and what I typically use them for, and so on and so forth. So, without any further delay, let's just dive right into the presentation. So then, anyway, this is a presentation about the new modern tools. I mostly use Cursor and Lovable and Superbus. Plus, there's also the check macally, mainly for general websites. And we'll start with supabase. So it runs normally on Postgres. There is an option for real-time functionality where it essentially operates in a way that when something is changed, it will then be shown to you. And there is a simple message or some kind of straightforward message, whether it's within the database itself or through the user permissions managed by RLS, which are essentially settings that allow you to configure, for example, that only users who were actually who were authorized to create their own specific record, for instance, using the user ID in that particular role, so that they could exclusively view their own personal data strictly based on the authorization they were granted. This application, or rather this SaaS platform, also incorporates authorization. So it's essentially an all-in-one solution for any kind of backend, which is really great. This actually pairs up wonderfully with those AI codes, and I always have a little demonstration of the application here, showing you how it looks on the inside. So this here is actually the Superbaska, and it's a practical example of a database for exercises, for which I'm currently building an application for iOS. It's designed for managing a certain number of exercises and for inputting all the relevant details concerning your workouts. Next, there's Lovable. It's actually a complete full stack solution because they already have their very own cloud, or you can connect to Supabase. This is how I personally use it. Here, for instance, I coded the Timey application on it, which was simply a passion project, nothing more than that. So it runs on Supabase and was actually built using Lovable, which is known for its incredibly rapid development cycle. We operate mostly by writing. Nothing is coded here. We can certainly view the code, yes, but essentially no actual coding takes place. So for a beginner who wants to try creating a static landing page or something similar, it's absolutely perfect. And then gradually they can move on from that, perhaps to some more advanced courses and so on. It's an absolutely great starting point for anyone. And then essentially it can, for example, synchronize with GitHub, which actually allows for version control. I save the code there, then I can deploy it in various ways, which means running it on it can do super CO. So the platform the application runs on can effectively cooperate with CO bots, which crawl the web to find and recommend it to other people. Here, I'm actually building a brand new website for my company, BeanClaps, and it's turning out to be absolutely fantastic. I'm having an incredibly great time working on it. So Noraka, right now we have a cursor here, and this entire presentation is actually coded within it. It's essentially a direct fork of Visual Code, meaning it's entirely built up on the Visual Code platform, and they've actually integrated their complete editor right into it. There's now an option for a dedicated browser window, much like what you'd find in an application such as lovable. This means you can either have your code running completely standalone, or you can actually interact and work directly with that window itself. And it's like really super. I use it for either mobile applications or for making adjustments to applications from lovable, from macally, essentially for some smaller modifications. Yes, I use it a great deal. I also utilize connections to MCP servers, like an MCP server Supabase Pro or Contact 7. So I always have documentation that I can feed into the agent when I'm coding to help me perhaps move forward. And so at that particular one, it's already quite advanced. You know, one really needs to know a few things to understand quite a bit, and so that's the situation. But then again, it provides absolute complete control over everything, which is just great. So to summarize things for you, yeah, it actually helps us quite a lot to really achieve very rapid and efficient development. it actually makes the development of projects for clients much cheaper. Can I create some of my own internal applications? Yes, but it's important to focus there, to pay close attention to security so that no data leaks can occur. That's why it's crucial right from the start within supabase to properly set up those RLS policies so that users actually only see what they are meant to see. So they couldn't, for example, just get hold of the entire database and really, really pay attention to API keys, for instance, that we might put into various applications and such, so that it's actually not on the front end, but so that everything, the front end is actually what we see, what we interact with, and for all of it to be on the back end. In fact, it allows us to build out backend services, backend functions, or various kinds of processes. Supabase also makes this possible. And there's also a special dedicated place for your API keys, which is very secure. So that's really great about this Supabase. Or, of course, anyone can do it themselves using, for example, cursors. But then again, as I mentioned, you need to be a little more experienced to really pay close attention to it. So make sure you're careful with your security. Definitely give it a try because it's truly fantastic. And I'll see you all again in the next video.